Hey y'all, it's Egress Adam. Well, in all my brilliance, y'all would have loved the last video I recorded. I recorded like a 16-minute video and never turned on my screen capture software. But I'm telling you, I promise you, y'all would have absolutely loved it. So now I get to re-record it and say all the stuff that I said before a second time. Just this time I made sure that I I turned on my screen capture software. So where we left off last week was we had just gotten to Mos Eisley, and I want to go back to one thing I said last week that I didn't explain in full. When you go down here and you're scrolling along here and you're waiting for it to tell you what window it is, another thing you can do is if you hold over it, like your quest journal, you'll actually see it says Control J. So it'll tell you what key combination you use in order to open up said window. So with that being said, we can go on with today's video. The beautiful thing about Star Wars is you don't have, when you pick a profession, when you build your characters, like we picked Marksmen, you're not pigeonholed into just doing Marksman like you are in other games. You can drop Marksman. You can, right here where it says surrender skill, you can surrender this skill and go pick up another one. The caveat to that is, if I'm not mistaken, to pick up another skill will cost you credits. And real quick, when you start a new character on this game, it gives you 100 credits and 1,000 credits in your bank, because you actually do have a bank account and you can deposit money, you can withdraw money, you can even tip other characters or other toons and even your characters from your bank. And I'll get into that in a later video. So you're not pigeonholed into going just up the marksman's tree to either bounty hunter or commando. Right up here at the top where it says rifleman, pistolier, smuggler, carbiner, combat medic, or squad, you can go up just this tree and you can go to combat medic and squad leader. Or you can go all of them and you can go up to bounty hunter. You can do a mixture of them. You can go up Master Marksman to Bounty Hunter, and if you want to be a combat medic, you can go up the combat medic. You can go up as many profession trees as you have points. So if you wanted to just go up Rifleman, and then you wanted to go, you can't be pilots yet. I don't think Basilisk has the pilot skill available. But let's say you wanted to pick up medic, you can go up some of the medic tree to get whatever you want out of medic. It would just take you to explore. You can go up artisan. You can do anything you want to do, so you're not pigeonholed into anything. So one thing you can do, we'll click Marksman again. You can see here in my last video that you guys love so much. You can see that I actually have some experience in these. If you, instead of having to hit Control S every time and open this to see how much, you can click right here where it says Show Experience Monitor, and it'll pop it up on your screen. And you can shrink this to however many you want. I think all you can have is 5. I normally do 4 because there's only 4. And you may hear someone say, I'm a Marksman 4344, and what they mean is they're 4344, which means that's how high up they are into the marksman tree. Or they may say, I'm a bounty hunter 0300, which means all they've done is they've gone up the bounty carbine specialization. So that if you hear someone say that, that's what they're talking about. The beautiful thing about SWG is over here where it says My Skill Mods. Right here where it says Basic Speech, Bothy's Comprehension, and Bothy's Speech. Excuse me, Speech. that means I can understand people speaking English, like this fellow over here, Fania, whatever. Like I said, I'm not an English major. This fella here, I can understand him if he speaks. However, I won't be able to understand this Wookiee because I don't speak Wookieese or whatever Wookiees speak. However, that Wookiee can train me, can invite me to a group and train me in his speech, and I will be able to understand Wookiee here after that. And then I can train other people on how to understand Wookiees. So that's one of the cool things about this game, is it's really completely player run. Like when you get to Master Marksman and let's say we become a bounty hunter, to become a bounty hunter, there may not be any bounty hunter trainers out there. So in order to get bounty hunter, I may have to track down a bounty hunter and ask them to train me. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, sometimes they charge you, sometimes they don't. But it's a player-run economy. So it is what it is. If let's say this guy here is a bounty hunter and he wants to charge you 5,000 credits to teach you a skill, well, if you deem it worth paying that and you have enough credits, pay if that's what you do. If not, you have to run around the galaxy until you find a bounty hunter trainer and get trained. So that's kind of the down low on the skills. To jump into the interface controls real quick, right here where it says interface, this is your option screen. And on any window you open, when you first open it, it's going to look like this. And you have to you can click next, and it's just a tutorial on what the window does. If you ever want to turn it off, well, once you go through everything, it actually turns it off for you. However, if you're like me and it gets on your nerves, just click right up here where it says show help. Just unclick that, and it'll go away, and you won't have to deal with it anymore. And that's on any window you open. The first time you open it, it's going to show that. On the interface, you can actually change these colors to suit you. Like you're going to start and it's going to be alpha blue. So we'll go through them real quick. Here's protein, I don't know. Again, I'm not an English major, so y'all please excuse my French or English. C3PO, which is gold, like C3PO. Imperial, which I used to run that one too because it was Imperial. Then you have Tinto Live, Destroyer, which I've run that one before too. Rebel Flight Suits, which is the one that I'm running now. Rebel, which is red. That color can kind of suck at night. Windu Purple, Hut, and back to Alpha Blue. So, and I thought at one time there was actually a way you could make it any color you want. But that was a long time ago. If I remember how, I'll let you know in a video. But this is your basic terrain high detail, global terrain high detail, which I run. Now that I can run it all the way out, that's what I do, because back when I played, my computer was crappy and I couldn't. That's why I never played a lot on Naboo, and you won't see me go to Naboo a lot, because at the time Naboo took so long to load into because everyone went to Naboo when they released it. And that's why you'll see me a lot of times on here, Corellia. I'll go anywhere once I figure out the game again. But to get trained, let's say you can't find anyone to train you. Sorry, I got off topic there. If you hit Control M, you can search around here until you see. Let me find one. Let's see here. Right here, Marksman, Kotho Epo. That's a marksman's trainer. Wherever it says marksman, like I saw one down here for scout, medic, There's artisans over here somewhere. So you can do this. You can hit Control and bring up your map and look around till you find it, or you can hit Control V and bring up your planetary map. And we'll go again. We'll use Marksmen because that's what we are. If you click on Marksmen, it'll tell you these little green X's or yellow X's you see are all the Marksmen's trainers on Tatooine. And at one time, I thought you could actually bring up other maps or other planets. But anyways, if you click right here, you can, let me see, right here, Kotho Epo, which is over this way. And you can go through and actually, if everyone you click, it will show you what city they're in. To get trained, if you, let's say you're outside, if you right click and hold on this person, you can create a waypoint. And you see right here, it created a waypoint to this guy. Oh crap, I didn't want to do that. Control D brings up your data pad. And this is where you can store your waypoints. Like if you're an artisan and you find a good supply of copper, and you can actually save that waypoint so you can go back to it and gather more of it when you run low. You can set names, you can deactivate it, which means it turns it off. However, I don't need this guy, so I'm just going to destroy it. But you can show waypoint indicator on screen. So when I make a waypoint, it will show up over here. And it will create a waypoint every time you take a mission or you create a waypoint. It'll show that waypoint until you deactivate it. But on missions, once you beat that mission, that waypoint would disappear. One of the things it starts you with is, I must have already activated, but it gives you a speeder. I saw one just go by me somewhere. But it gives you a little land speeder like Luke and Obi-Wan were flying in Star Wars A New Hope. If you hit Control D, under Data, there it is right there. And you can either hit Control D and come to the Data tab and do this every time, or you can drag it up here, maybe. There you go, drag it up here, right there, and then all you have to do is hit Shift 11. While we're here on this bar, when you start, it's going to be a single row, F1 through F12. So you hit the corresponding button to perform that skill. If you left click and drag down, it'll make it another row, and you can only go 2 rows. Yeah, see, it won't let you do a third row. In order to do whatever move you put on this bottom row, it's Shift and that number. See, Shift 11, and it brings up my land speeder. So that's how you do that. To get trained, we run over here to this fellow over here, because that should be the Marksman. There's a Marksman trainer right there. To bring up, to converse with him, you can either left click and hold and bring up the radial menu, or you can double click. I'm interested in learning a skill. I'm not able to be trained yet, but that's how you would do it, and then he would train you. It costs 1,000 to learn your level 1 skills. So that's how you do that, or you can run around Mos Eisley screaming in chat if there's anyone that can train you. For my lower skills, I'll usually just go to him until they start getting expensive. Because unless you start doing quests or something along those lines, when you run out of money, you're out. It's going to make you start doing quests to earn money. So that's what that is all about. Now, to get started, what I would recommend doing, excuse me, is running right outside of Mos Eisley. There's low-level mobs. They're not aggro to you, so they're not going to attack you. Some of them are. In my last video that y'all missed, that y'all would have loved, there was actually some rill, R-I-L-L, that would have killed me. Or not killed, well, yeah, they would have killed me. But they were aggro to me, so they would have attacked me on sight. And you can see here it shows you yellow means they're safe. If it's red like that one right there, don't mess with them. So you run out here. That's your character sheet. I will explain that in a later video. But if you played this game, you already know, so it's not going to be a big surprise or anything. But you target your enemy that you're getting ready to go to war with. You hit F1 and you attack them. And you notice it shows you your skill that you're attacking with over on the left hand side of your screen. And you can load this up to the point to where it'll actually ignore your command because you have that many commands, which is very common with TKMs. And that's what you do right there. And this is how I'd recommend to you get your first couple levels, especially like on Marksmen. If you're going to level the whole, if you're going to become a master marksman, that's how I would recommend doing that. Is just run around, pick low level mobs. They're not going to give you any loot or anything like that. Once you start taking missions and you're killing bases, you'll get credits. And believe it or not, you can get credits fairly quickly in this game. And register with, or not register, but watch your bazaar and see what stuff sells on the auction house, and that'll let you start making credits that way too. Alright, so you see over here that this Rifles 1 is now green. So, we bring up our speeder. One cool thing about this game is it actually has, like here I'm in the middle of a dust storm. On Corellia, you'll run into rainstorms. It has a night and day cycle, and right now we're at night, and on Corellia it gets real dark. So what you can do is hit Control L, and it'll actually open up or turn on your light for you so you'll be able to see. Let me turn off my, there we go. So now I'll be able to drive. I need to figure out where we're going. I'm too busy talking. So we go over here, keep driving, weaving through the buildings. Sharp turn, Clyde. Oh, no building. Where are we? Okay, here we are. I know where we're at. Somewhere around here, there's a Marksman's train. Oh, there's one. Kotho. Hi, Kotho. Alright, I'm interested in learning a skill. I can learn rifles, long-range combat. 1,000 credits, yes. Stop conversing. So now I'm on rifles too. So that's how you get started. You can start picking up missions right away if you want. I wouldn't advise it because the missions can be kind of difficult at when you don't have a lot of attacks. Like you'll notice here, I got headshot 1, and if let's say you pick up a new skill, it won't necessarily add the moves up here that you want. So let's say we'll remove this. So we accidentally remove it. How do you get it back? If you hit Control A and you go to the combat tab, there it is right there, headshot 1. And to move it, you just left click, hold, and drag. And I'll put that at F2. Because I think if I remember correctly, overcharge shot can actually damage your weapon if used enough, because you're actually overcharging your weapon. But let's say you pick up a skill like artisan or medic or dancer. That's not a combat skill, so it's not going to be under the combat tab. You're going to have to go to other. Because like an artisan, your skills that you use are going to be like survey resources, gather resources. Medic is going to be diagnose, 10 wound, heal damage, 10 damage. So that's a non-combative skill, and this is where non-combat skills go. Like right here you see sample resource. What was the other one? I think is it survey? Survey resources. So this is where you're going to find your non-combat skills. You can set your mood, social, are you there, poke, scare, which I'll show you my favorite one after I get done with this spiel here. This game does allow macros, which I'll get into in a different episode, because when you become a doctor, an artisan, an entertainer, macros are kind of going to become your new norm, because it can be very tedious just sitting there leveling an artisan, and you're sitting there watching a screen while little bubbles come out of the ground while you gather your resources. You can use a macro, so you can kick off this macro, and you can go mow your yard, do your dishes, eat dinner, go to a movie. You can do whatever you want to do, and it's going to sit there and run that macro until you tell it to stop. And that's all you do. You set it to go to bed, wake up in the morning, see how far you got. So that's a good way to level those professions where you're not right there with them. So now on to the best emote I've ever seen. Because if you look here, you got /scare. He scares you. Another one is /poke. He pokes them. This one is my favorite. Ever since I saw this, I'm rolling on the floor laughing. Watch what he does. And that's just, to me, the best emote I've ever seen. So let me look over my list here and see if I've covered everything. Your priority starting out is you're going to want to find some armor. Admittedly, you don't have the armor it starts you with will be okay until you actually start taking harder missions. And the missions aren't hard per se, but it's a lot easier when you get buffed, and we'll get into the whole buffing later. But you pick up buffs, you're tougher. Well, even when you're buffed, you're going to find mobs that just beat you down like you're nobody. So you're going to want to make a priority to get some form of armor. Like the armor of this guy here. Man, I am like look how short I am. My goodness, is this a giant? Holy mackerel. That dude is huge. Wow. That's kind of funny. Who's inviting me? Sure, I'll join. Oh, why not? See what he does. But the armor this guy here is wearing is called comp armor. This is your starting armor. Comp armor to me is the best. Everybody wears comp. Oh, cool. See how he's training me and all this? Now I'll be able to understand everybody. That whatever he's trained me in. I'm actually making a YouTube video. See, now I just learned Wookiee. So now what I can do is when my brother gets on, I can teach him everything that this guy taught me. So we'll stay here. This is cool. This is kind of off the cuff here. This is awesome. I forgot what I was even talking about. I got distracted of how tall this giant here is. This is cool. Epic. But you can, I forgot what I was totally saying. I know we were talking about missions. Here's a mission terminal here. If you come over to a mission, sorry y'all. If you come over to a mission terminal and double click it, it'll bring up missions. Like, because I'm grouped with this guy, I can get a quest that pays 12,000 credits, which, believe me, I don't want to get a I would get monkey stomped in this quest if I took it. But to leave a group, you type / leave group, and it'll leave the group. Now, if you refresh, now see, I'm only getting quests for 3,000. And if you double click, and we're going to cover this in more detail in next week, but you notice that the difficulty is 20. You kind of want better armor to start doing this. So that's why you kind of want to make it a priority to maybe do delivery quests, because they're simple. You very rarely enter combat. You use the shuttle ports, and again, we'll get into that next week. But it's a way to get money, so you'll have money to look for gear on the bazaar. So hopefully this was a pretty good primer to get y'all started. By all means, if y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them. And also, if there's anything in particular you want to see, please let me know, because this is y'all's video series. I'm just kind of winging it here. Not winging it, but I'm doing a walkthrough of how to get started in this game, and if there's certain things y'all want to see, because believe me, there's enough content where I can make tons of videos. But if there's anything in particular you want to see, let me know, and I'll see if I can make it happen for you. But thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, what you want to see. And we'll see you next week. Alright, gang? Y'all have a great day, or a great evening, or a great night, wherever you're at, and we will see you next week. Later.